Napay wala nagpasa og assignment and seat work. Okay, so napay duha ka buok wala nagpasa og assignment, seat work
Sir,
and
kung nagpasa sir, kay di pag akong kasulat sir bay.
ano man. Ay katong napasa imo ka no.
Katong kamot sir ba?
Okay, so sa assignment na 6 nga wala, sa seat work kay na duha. Okay? Sige. Si tagana mong time taman karon siguro nga adlaw. And then tomorrow check na din ako no ang kanang assignment og seat work. So kung wala mo kapasa, automatic zero inyong score. Okay? So let's start. Last time we discussed about vector operations. We have additions, scalar multiplications, dot product or scalar product, and the last one is the cross product or the vector product. So, ang cross product, instead of using components, we use the Levi-Civita symbol to calculate or to determine the components of the cross product. So, and I think in order to prove, say, triple products, for example, in order to prove triple products, one elegant way to prove it is this is using kaning Levi-Civita symbol. Okay, so instead of expanding it using component method, we will just use the Levi-Civita to prove um, vector product or say triple product for triple scalar product and triple vector product. So another example tuning ko last time is katong how to prove this A cross B, prove that A cross B dotted with C cross D is equal to this A dot C B dot D minus BC A dot A dot D. You have to take note that this is a dot product, okay? Kaya nakoy cross, which is a vector, cross product also a vector, but i-dot din mo na isang duha ka vector, your answer will be a scalar product. A scalar, yes. So ang answer ani is must be scalar. So as you notice sa right hand sa equation, sa right side sa to equation, it is this one A dot C is scalar, B dot D is also scalar, B dot C is also scalar, A dot D is also scalar. So meaning ang kaninga number dere is just a scalar is just a scalar function. Okay? Scalar siya nga function. So how to prove this identity using Levi-Civita symbol? This is very simple. Okay? Proof there. Proof. Okay. In order to prove this one, we must use this important quantity. So, take note of this. Okay, magamit ako na siya later. We have this important property. Important property. If we have these two summation of say Aij, the two Levi-Civita, and then epsilon L M no I L M I L M. Okay, so this has this is summation of I lang. Okay, summation in terms of I lang. Okay, take note ha. If I have this two Levi-Civita symbol, take note ha, ang pinaka-first nga index is I, and then gisum mo siya with respect to I, not in terms of J, K, L, and M. Okay? So, summation lang sa I ha. Summation sa I, na ako'y dami index nga J, K, L, and M. Dapat parehas ang iyahang pinakauna nga index. Okay? Nakoy I, napukoy I. Okay? So, if I have this summation, in terms of we can write this in terms of Dirac delta, okay, Kronecker delta. Pwede na ko ni siya isulat in terms of Kronecker delta J L times Kronecker delta Km minus Kronecker delta J M times Kronecker delta K L. Tanawa ang pattern, no? Nasa pattern, no? First na Kronecker delta is na ko'y JL. Ang partner ni J is katong second nga index JL. Next na po is K and M. Okay? So ito, na ko'y JL, second index, and then third index, na ko'y JL and KM. Minus sa katong alternate na ko'y second and third, JM, JNM, and KNL. Okay, take note of that. So, ang nakiduha ka term, in terms of Dirac delta, not the Kronecker delta, nakoy first nga term is second, third, it means na katong mga index na second index, third index, minus second, third, and then third, second. So, take note ha, nakoy 2, 2. As you notice here, this is 2, 2, 3, 3. This one is 2, 3, 3, 3, 2. Okay? Magamit na ko na siya if ang first index kay parehas. Okay? Magamit na ko siya if ang first index is I and this one is also I. Okay? So, I can use this property to prove the identity kaning nasa taas. Okay? Take note of this. Okay. So, this is an important property para magamit na to siya to prove this one. Okay. Proof. How are we going to prove this one? Saan pag X box square. Okay. So I have this A dot B. I have this A cross B, A cross B dot C cross D. And by definition of a dot product, kung sa itong dot product gani, if I have A dot B, then that is equal to summation of AI BI. Sakto? So I have, this is a dot product, so therefore, nakoy A cross BI times C cross D DI. The summation is in terms of I. Okay? So by definition of a dot product is just this AI BI, vector AI times vector BI, and so on. Okay? And also, we have these components of a cross product. Also, this is also a component of a cross product, and this can be written in terms of Levi-Civita symbol. So I have, kopyahan ako ang summation ni I. Okay? And then kaning A cross BI is just a summation, wala yan, ano? A summation of A, I, JK. Okay? Tawa? A, J, BK. Okay? The summation is in terms of J, K. Okay? Tama. This one, kanina sa bracket is the components of A cross B. Okay? The components of A cross B. How about the components of C cross D? pwede na ko na siya masulat in terms of summation gihapon. Summation of epsilon. Take note, this is also an I. I man gihapon ni no. I gihapon na siya. So therefore, akong epsilon, ang first nga index sa akong Levi-Civita is also an I. Okay? This one is also an I. But dili na ko mag JK, no? Because nagamit naman ako siya, these are just dummy indices. Since nagamit na nako ang J and K, mogamit ko another letter. Say I use L and M. So this one is now a summation of in terms of L and in terms of L. So ang importante lang is since this C cross D, ang imong ikuha is only the ith component. So therefore, sa imong Levi-Civita, ang first nga index is also an I. And then ang second or third is you can use any letters except J and K because nagamit naman ako ang J and K sa ith component sa imong A cross B. Okay? So nakoy epsilon I, importante nga I, no? I because this one is an ith component. Same sa A cross B, this is an ith component, so therefore ang first nga index is also an I. Okay? So nakoy epsilon I LM, so I have C, I will use second index L, and then D third index nga M. Okay? So pila ka box summation? Nakoy 5, no? I, J, K, L, and M. So pwede na ko na siya isulat as this. Summation of I, J, K, L, and M. So 5 na ka summation, ha? 5 ka summation. And I also have this A, I, J, K, epsilon I, J, K, epsilon I, L, M. And then kupihan na ako ang letters A, J, B, K, C, L, and D, M. Aha. This one is kaning duha ka epsilon is muna ako ang giingon gayon, no? One important property sa epsilon, duha ka Levi-Civita, you can write that in terms of Kronecker delta, delta JL, delta KM minus delta JM minus delta KL. Okay? So kani, if I rewrite this one, nakoy summation of in terms of I, so ang mabilin diri is nakoy J, K, L, and M. Nakoy epsilon I, J, K, epsilon I, L, M. Okay? Kani. A, J, B, K, C, L, D, and D, M. And kung sa kaining nasa close parenthesis, kaya nasa close parenthesis is just the Kronecker delta, J, L, K, M, and so on. So nakoy, sulat na akong summation in terms of J, K, L, M. Ang galing nasa parenthesis kay mahimo siyang Kronecker delta, no? Delta 22. Sa itong 22 gani, JL, 22 na ako nakasulat. 22, second index na ko JL. Delta 33 na ko KM. Yes?
Yes, sir, natuplukan ng
Okay. Next is minus delta 23 na ko JM times 32 nga KL. Kaya na nako ang AJ, BK, CL, and DM. Okay? Now, this has two terms. Okay? Nakoy duha ka terms ani. So, expand ako ni, no? Expand ako ni. So, ito. Okay? So, expand ako ni. This is equal to summation of, upat ka buhok, no? JKLM. Ang first nga delta is JL KM. KM. Ito ba? Ang first nga delta is JL KM times kaning mga letters AJBK, AJBK, CLDM minus summation sa isa JKLM sa itong Kronecker delta so ito JMKL. Okay, JMKL. KL. JM, tapos KL. Kopyahin na lang ako ang letters. AJ, BK, CL, and DM. Okay? Aha. We will use the property of Kronecker delta. Si Kronecker delta has two values. It's either 0 or 1. Kano sa mag-0, kano sa mag-1. Mag-1 siya if ang index kay parehas, mag-0 siya kung ang index kay dili parehas. Okay? So, take note, mag-1 siya. So, mag-vanish siya when j is not equal to L. Mag-vanish siya when j is not equal to L. And also, k is not equal to M. Tama? Wala siya, kung i-expand mo ng summation, kung expand mo ng summation, walay term when j is not equal to L. Also, 0 imuhang term for k not equal to M. So, naalang siya value when j is equal to L and k equal to M. So, meaning, ang upat ka summation, mahimo na lang duha. Tama ba? Ang upat ka summation is mahimo na lang siyang duha. Na ako in terms of L and in terms of K. Ano ka ito? In terms of L and in terms of K, kay mugamit lang og isa lang ka, mugamit na lang ko og sa kaning JL, mugamit na lang ko og LL na lang, no? LL na lang mabilin, tama ba? Kay dapat ang J nimo is equal to L para para dili zero ang imong term, okay? And also the KM kay pwede ko mag KK na lang dayon, no? When K is equal to M. Pwede po ko magamit og JJ, no? JJ, pwede po ko magamit og MM, okay? So, dami indices sa naman, no? So, pwede ko magamit og L or K or J or M. So, I will use L and K. So, therefore, ang duha ka summation L and K, so nakoy J kaning AJ, kay mahimo siyang AK na. No. AJ, kay mahimo na siyang AL. Tama ba? Kay ang J nimo must be equal to L. Okay? Si J nimo must be equal to L and K must be equal to M. So, nakoy AL. Ang BK, K lang siya po, no? BK, CL, and then ang M nimo kay mahimong K. Tawa? Mahimong K ang imuhang M. Okay? Kung sa ito, ang upat ka summation, mahimong lang upat, mahimong lang duha, sorry. Mahimong lang duha because of this Kronecker delta. Dapat si J kay mahimo siyang L, dapat si J is equal to L and K is equal to M. So, ang mga indices kay ma-change siya into AL. Pwede ka magamit og J, ha? Pwede ka magamit og J. AJ, CJ. Kung J mong gamit, then this C, kay mahimo siyang J, not L. Okay? So, L ang gamit. So, ako AL, BK, CL, ang M is mahimong K. M is equal to K. So, ako DK. Sa minus nga side, sa second nga term, J must be equal to M and K must be equal to L. So, duha na lang ka-summation na po na eh. In terms of, saan gamitin ako? J na lang yapon. J and in terms of K. Okay? Again, pwede ka mo gamit og M, pwede ka mo gamit og L. Same ra na sila, no? So, dapat si J is equal to M. So, na ko AJ. Yeah. Because the Kronecker delta is just 1. So, na ko 1 times 1 na. So, 1 na sa tanan. So, mga the coefficient ang value sa imong Kronecker delta is just 1. So I have AJ, B, K, K man ang gamit, no? Ang CL kay mahimo siyang unsa man ang L? L is equal to unsa ning L gani? L is equal to K. So nakoy CK and then CK and then M, si DM kay mahimo siyang DJ. Okay? So, mahimo sang DJ. Now, i-rearrange na ko, no? Nasa parehas ng mga indices na ko AL and CL. So, pwede na ko sa isulat as this. Summation of L, AL, CL, and then I also have summation of BK and DK. Okay? Okay? Ako lang i-rearrange siya, no? Na ako'y sa J, na ako'y summation of AJ, DJ, tapos times summation of BK, CK. And what is this? Kung saan yung mga summation of J, summation of K's, these are just dot product. Okay? So, kaning summation of ALCL is just equal to A dot C. Sakto? Dot product naman nga definition, no? Dot product lang nga definition. Summation of BK-DK is just dot product of B and D minus AD times B dot C. And we prove, sakto ba itong one? AC, ano ito? ACBD minus BCAD. Okay. So we prove that A cross B dot C cross D is equal to this expression. Okay? Sayon ra, no? Sayon ra ba? So na ko A dot C, B dot D minus AD, BC. And that's how to prove vector quantities, scalar products using Lebesgue symbol. Napay, I think you can also prove kaning bitaw sa inyong math view ni the curl of a divergence equal to 0. So curl of a divergence equal to 0 using Lebesgue nga symbol. Okay, question. So that we can move to another topic. But before we move, let's have not sheet work but assignment na lang. Assignment. Assignment, I think this is number 2. Okay. Again, you will use the important quantity nga katong in terms of Kronecker delta. Assignment, so A plus A dot B minus the backup rule na lang. Prove the backup rule using Lebesgue. So itong backup rule gani, ako A cross B cross C, this is equal to B A dot C minus C A dot B. This is very simple. This is simple. Simple na ba? Yeah, simple lang eh. Prove the backup rule using Lebesgue symbol. So this will be your assignment. The due date is on Wednesday. Okay. So we are done with these vector operations. Now we will move to another. I will introduce another notation. Okay, I will introduce another notation. This so-called the bracket notation. Bracket. The bracket notation. Magamit or mostly makita ninyo yung bracket notation sa inyong quantum mechanics na subject. So this is just an introduction of a bracket notation. So si bracket notation is the Dirac notation for vectors. So vectors kaya po rin siya, no? So we call this one as bracket notation. Dirac, no? Yeah, Dirac used another notation to write a vector. Okay, so Dirac notation is called the Dirac notation for vectors. So pwede na ko siya isulat, ang vectors in terms of a bracket notation. So recall, si vector kay pwede na ko siya isulat as A1, A2, and A3. Tama ba? So si vector A can be written in terms of its components as A1, A2, and A3. Or you can write A1, E1, tama? Pwede niyo mo sulat as A1, E1 plus A2, E2, plus in 3 dimension, no? A3, E3. This is this is the notation for a vector. But sa Dirac, in terms of bracket notation, you can write this A. Pwede na ako isulat si A in terms of bracket notation, ha? I can write this A as this. Okay? Or you can write this as this. We call this one as the ket vector. And this one is the bra na siya, no? Bra vector. Okay? So, if we combine these two, I have this. This is called the bracket vector. Bracket vector. Okay? So, nanisay kalaya, no? Kung isulat na ko rin siya as ket vector, then vector A is somewhat dili siya parehas sa ako ang bra vector A, no? Dili parehas ang ket vector A sa bra vector A. Okay? So lahi ni siya. Nganong ingani og form na kani and so on and so forth. So in Dirac notation for vector, I have a ket vector A and also I have a bra vector A. So unsay kalahian sa duha? Okay. By the way, if you combine this, the bra times the ket vector, okay, we also call this one as the inner product. Okay, and in the bra vector, if I have two vectors, consider two vectors, say A and B. If I write this as in terms of bracket notation, okay, sometimes some notation use comma lang, no? Pero kasagara kay kaning sa tawag ni kaning horizontal vertical line lang gamit. Usahay na libro nga mogamit og comma lang, okay? So this AB or A comma B, this is the bracket vector, right? This is the bracket vector. It is also commonly called the inner product. Okay? It is also called the inner product. Or, ang pinaka-common good niya is actually the dot product. Okay? Ang pinaka-common is, kung sayon lang na yung mga functions, A and B, or vectors, for example, you can use, or you can call this one as the bracket vector of A and B, or the inner product of A and B, or the dot product of A and B. So, take total, lahi lang sa notation. Kani is your bra, kani siya is your ket vector of. So this one is the bra vector A and the ket vector B. Okay? So we have this notation. So what is this ket vector A? So unsa ni yung pagsulat ni ket vector A? Okay? So take note. Consider vector A has three components. Na ko A1, A2, and A3. Okay? Then the bra vector A can be written in terms of a summation. Okay? It can be written in terms of, not summation, but in terms of matrix. You can write this as A1, A2, and A3. While the the ket vector of A, kaya pwede na ko siya isulat in terms of matrix siya po, no? Na ko A1, A2, and A3. We call this one as the row matrix. Row manino? Row matrix. Row matrix. And this is a column. Okay? So kung mayon ko bra vector, then ang pagsulat nimo sa in terms of matrix is pahalang, pa horizontal. And when I say ket vector, isulat nimo siya in a vertical nga in column matrix. Okay? Isulat nimo siya in column matrix. So this is actually in Dirac notation. Okay? This is actually in Dirac notation. So I have vector A. I have three components, A1, A2, and A3. If you write this in a bra vector A, then kaning mga components is isulat nimo siya in row matrix. If you use the ket vector of A, then kaning mga components is you write this in a column matrix. Nakuha. You write this in a column matrix. Now, so unsay naa sa kaning bracket vector. So ningo gaya na, no? Ang bracket vector is just the inner product. Say for example, I have two vectors A and B. And then the bracket vector is just the inner product, or sometimes we call this one as a dot product of these two vectors A and B. So say if we generalize that, not in terms of vectors but a function, say if f of x, okay, and g of x, okay, so I have two functions, f of x and g of x, g as a function of x, then the inner product fg, pwede ako sa isulat as comma, ha, or pwede kong sulat og kanong f kana same ra na sila, no? Same ra na sila. This is equal to, take note, this is a function of x, so you can write this in terms of integral as f of x, g of x, dx. Okay? If it is a vector, then this, if the two functions is a vector, then you can write, or you can solve this in terms of a dot product na term. Okay? It is a dot product. So nakoy nga nga function. Okay? So the inner product is actually, if you generalize the inner product, dili lang sa katong dot product lang, specific lang tong dot product man, no? If I generalize the bracket notation, the bracket, this bracket fg, then the generalized function, or the generalized equation, is just the integral of f of x times g of x dx. Then you can solve for the dot product. Okay? And it satisfies some inequalities and so on. So you can write this as, take note of this. Take note of this one. Also, in terms of vector, I have a dot b. You can write this is a dot product. You can write this as ab. In Dirac notation, in Dirac notation, or you can write this as the bracket vector a, vector b. For example, okay. So for example, I have f of x is equal to 1 minus x, and then g of x equals to x, where x runs from 0 to 1. Okay, where x runs from 0 to 1. Question: what is the angle between f and g? Okay, so many question, no? If I have two functions, f of x and g of x, question is what is the angle between the function f and the function g? So how will you solve this one? We have to recall in that product, we can actually solve for the angle between two vectors a and b using that product, no? If you recall, if I have two vectors a dot b, you can write this as a b cosine of theta, where theta is the angle between a and b. So masolve na ko si theta kung masolve na ko ang dot product and so on. Okay, same as this one. If I have two functions, makalculate na ko ang angle between these two functions using the concept of inner product. Okay? Using the concept of inner product. Because we know that if I dot f and j, okay? If I dot f and g, this is equal to, you can write this as fg, or sometimes we use kaning anak, no? Pwede ko masulat as fg, like that. And this is equal to the magnitude of f times the magnitude of g cosine of theta. Sakto ba? Because by definition of a dot product, if I have two functions, then kuha na ko ang magnitude ni one function times magnitude ni another function, cosine of theta. So, masolve na ko ang theta. Okay? So, we have fg. Solving first for fg para masolve na ko si theta. So, fg in general is just equal to integral of fg dx. Okay? So, this is equal to integral of f, which is equal to 1 minus x times gx nga x dx, it runs from 0 to 1. And pila integral ani? Sige daw, solve daw. Unsa ni nga integral? So na ko'y f g, this is integral of, sa ito? 0 to 1. 1 x minus x square. So x minus x square dx. Pila ni siya unsa integral ani? Kinsa may kabalo mo integrate dere. Arnel Horomo. Pila integral ani Arnel Horomo? Integrate this one. Si Arnel.
Natulog.
Natulog si Arnel. Pilyerin. What's the integral of x minus x square? Tulog po si Pilyerin. Wala po si Pilyerin, no? Hello? Wala. Si Juliana na lang. Juliana na lang. Yes, Pilyerin.
Diretso na, sir. Asaman.
Pila may integral.
One.
What is integral of x minus x square? Pila gali?
Pagawas na lang X, sir.
Pagkawas ang x tapos direct integration naman no? Sakto ba?
16, sir?
X
Over 6.
over 3.
Isa to?
1 over 6, sir.
1 over?
1 over 6.
Kanilang sa duha. Kani. X minus x square. Unsa gani? Ako'y?
X squared over 2
1
minus
half.
X square over 2 minus
Minus 3. X cube. X cube of 3.
Minus
x cube over 3. Okay? So, integral of this is, kani, it runs from 0 to 1. So, I have 1 half
One
minus
half.
1/3.
6. 1 over 6.
So, na ko'y 1 over 6. Okay? So, therefore, the FG, kining inner product ni F and G is equal to 1 over 6. Now, so I know this one. Okay? I know the FG. But, wao kabalo, this must be equal to the magnitude of F times the magnitude of G times cosine of theta. So, ang atong ipangita is kaning theta. But I don't know the F. The magnitude of F, wala ko kabalo sa magnitude ni F, wala po ko kabalo sa magnitude ni G. Pero, makuha na ko siya using this. The FF, okay, is just equal to F square, okay? The magnitude of F square. Sakto ba? Kay, if i-dot product na ko ang iyang kaugalingon, ako ang makuha lang is the magnitude raised to the power of 2. Tama ba? Kani? If I have A dot A then ang makuha na ko is actually the magnitude of a quantity square. So same lang na sila, no? If I get the inner product FF, then ang makuha na ko is the magnitude of F raised to the power of 2. And this is equal to integral of F squared dx, which is equal to integral of 1 minus x dx from 0 to 1. So pila ni? F squared is equal to pila integral ani 1 minus x, pila integral sa 1 minus x. Taba pa. Taba pa.
Sir, di ba square man? 1 minus x square.
Yeah. Tama. Thank you. So this is square. Okay. Sakto. So square. So expand pa na ko na, no? Expand na ko na. Or pwede na ko din na expand. So nakoy expand na ako, no? Nakoy 1 minus 2x plus x square dx. So pila na? Nakoy x minus x square plus x cubed over 3, okay, from 0 to 1, okay. So this is equal to 1 minus 1, so nakoy 1/3. Taba? 1/3 ang akong f square. So therefore, akong f is equal to square root of 1/3. Taba? So because my f square is 1/3, so therefore, ako ang f, akong magnitude ni f is equal to 1 square root of 1 over 3, or you can write this as 1 over square root of 3. For g, si g karon, if I use g, this is equal to g square. This is an integral of sa itong g, x quantity square. So nakuha dx from 0 to 1. This is actually equal to x cubed over 3 from 0 to 1. This is equal to 1/3. So therefore, g square is 1/3, 1 over 3. So therefore, g is also equal to 1 over square root of 3. So now I have fg equal to function f, function g, cosine of theta. So theta now is equal to cosine inverse of fg over the magnitude of f times the magnitude of g. So I have cosine inverse of fg na ko is 1 over 6 over, this one is 1 over square root of 3 times 1 over square root of, times 1 over square root of 3. So therefore, wala answer. Solve. So the angle between F and G is equal to 1, 3. So I have theta, cosine inverse of 1 over 6 over 1 over 3, no? 1 over 3, so I think it's 1/2. Sakto ba? It's 1/2. Yeah, it's 1/2, and cosine inverse of 1/2 is kana sa mag 1/2 ang cosine 60 degrees. So this one is 60 degrees. Cosine inverse of 1/2. Okay, it's 60 degrees. So the angle between F and G is equal to 60 degrees. Okay. I think we're done. Next meeting, we will now go to ganito magsugod na dayon, no? Next meeting, tas po time pero sige lang. Ako na lang putlon. Kaya maot kay kung ipadayon ako ni kitas-tas ni siya, no? Next meeting, we will go to velocity and acceleration na no? Different differentiations. Next meeting, we'll go to differentiation of a vector with respect to scalar, with respect to a scalar. So we have the derivatives like velocity and acceleration. We know that velocity and accelerations are just the first derivative and the second derivative of position respectively, no? So first is we will define the position, and then once kabalo ko sa position, kabalo ko how to solve for velocity and how to solve for acceleration. Medyo taas-taas siya gamay because we will use rectangular coordinates to solve for the position, velocity, acceleration. We will also use spherical coordinates and cylindrical coordinates. And ang atong mga notations kay dili na siya pareha sa una. Like for example, the velocity is equal to dx over dt. Now, in this in the book of Marion, he used not dx dt kay taas mo kay pagsulat, but the book used r dot, r double dot, r triple dot, and so on. And I will not use x because I will generalize the position in terms of r. So ang ako ang gamit ng position is in terms of r. Okay? So nakoy r dot, r double dot, r triple dot. So makita nato na siya tanan. And we will solve problems like rolling wheel. Kung nakoy ligid nakoy ligid tapos rotate siya padulong ana. Okay? Then calculate the velocity and calculate the acceleration of this rolling wheel. I also have the motion, for example, ang iyang motion is nakoy funnel. Pana. And then if I have a small particle here, then the motion is going pa spiral padulong sa ubos. Then calculate the velocity, calculate the acceleration and the position of this one. So ang point lang is kanila tulo, no? More maging importante, no? The position, the velocity, and acceleration. We will calculate all that quantities in rectangular, in spherical, and in cylindrical coordinates. Okay? So kao na to ang medyo lisod-lisod siya gamay. Sayon lang gyapon. Sayon na ba? Yeah, sayon na siya. Kaya ra naton. Tas-tas lang siya gamay. So that will be our topic next meeting. So before ta mag Newton's laws, because after this mag Newton's laws na lang ta, no? Dapat kabalo ta sa kinematics of the system. Kinematics meaning we will get the position, we will get the velocity, and we will get the acceleration. Mo man ang kinematics niya, no? And then after the kinematics, we will go to dynamics, which is mostly dito na ta sa Newtonian mechanics na. The Newton's Newtonian mechanics, which is muna atong topic next after this one. Okay, so that's it. Do you have a question?
None, sir.
Wala na. Muli na ta, no? Muli. Yes. Mag-attendance pa rin ta. And
Si
then,
Jobin later kay wala si Jobin over sir. Hindi ko siya return.
si Juben Ray wala, no? May 1, 2, 14 man ta ka po. It's a 4. Arnel na si Arnel?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Aquino?
Present, sir.
Kim, no?
Present, sir.
J. Galos. Next meeting di ay sa oral recitation kay alphabetical na siya, no? Mag-alphabetical na oral para dili random lang nga tawag. Okay? So please be prepared. J. Galos.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Jessa. Jessa?
Present,
Present. Si Pilleri na a. Juliana na
Sir.
a. Julius. Napod si Julius, no?
Sir.
Rico.
Present, sir.
Tabafa.
Present, sir.
Aiko. And
Sir.
Unabia. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Present, sir.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So si Juben may absent karon. Juben.
Sir, ang video sir ba? Di lagi na mo ma-download sir. Ang mga lecture na imo ba?
Magulog siya actually pero kwan siya kanang kaning medyo bugat siya nga video. So I think basing sa inyong internet or what. Basta bugat mo sa nga video ko around 300 MB man siguro to. Pero ma-download din mo siya kung dako kag data ata.
Sir, pwede
Basta
sa
na kung
YouTube na lang, sir. Para ma-download
Sa
na mo
YouTube?
in case nga hinay among signal, sir ba?
Wait sa YouTube. Pwede ra sa ko nga kon channel sige na lang. Sige. I-download na lang ako to siya sa pero di pa na ako ma-download na. So later na ako i-download. Okay ra?
Sige,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Naka-quarantine mo gud miron so wala mi kuan kayo, wala kay mi internet kayo. Data ra pala mo gamit. So pag maka-duty mi, I think next week, maka-duty na mi next week. So dito na ako i-post tanan ang video sa YouTube na lang. Okay ra? Okay ra sa inyo ha?
Okay, sir.
Okay kayo.
Sige. So wala na yung question. See you on Wednesday. Bye-bye. Please answer your assignment ha. And your seat work and assignment 1, please answer it today. Because tomorrow, I think matcheckan na ako sa tomorrow. So kung wala mo yung answer tomorrow, automatic 0 inyo ang assignment o seat work. Basta matcheckan na kayo na ako, 0 na gano'n sa diretso. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.